welcome to another exciting episode of Saturday Shade. I'm your host, Nene Kabutey. And on today's topic, we are going to talk about something very important. I think everyone at some point in your life, you kind of like think about like, do I really need to do this? And yes, you do. So the topic is going to be like, it's the same topic, but like in like variations. Like it's about when do parents need to start taking care of their kids? And on the flip side, when do we need to start taking care of our parents? Very interesting. But to do this, I have some beautiful ladies with me today. We have Jasmine right here. We have Shauntrice and we have Esi. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you. And listeners and viewers at home, don't forget to join us on the conversation on social media. Instagram Saturday Shade, Twitter SS and Kabutey, and do not forget to hashtag Saturday Shade. So, ladies, let's get into it. When do you think it's the appropriate time for parents to stop taking care of their kids? Or vice versa?
I would say never. I feel like because I think of like the mindset, because I feel like as Black people sometimes we want to get it out the mud so bad. Like just want to be like, I did it myself, I want to get out the mud. But I think about like my favorite white people, and I know my favorite white people through their parents. So if white people set up their children, like if I can live an easy life, I'm gonna do that. So if I'm gonna be like, yeah, well, my mom did this is my mom, my mom can take care. I'm gonna ride that coattail till I can't ride that coattail.
Hello, somebody.
I don't. My dream in life, I don't dream of labor. I don't dream of hard work. And if I don't have to, then I'm not gonna do it. And I continuously think about white people, how you have like these, you hear about these investors that put like their son on, or even with the that college scandal when they were like paying to get their kids into.
About that, yeah.
Let me get on that. Let me get on that. I don't SAT course. I don't want to do none of that shit. No. My mom and my daddy got me. The white people do it. Let me do it. So I think that like. And I come from a single parent household, but I also come from a household that I never wanted for anything. Even I was thinking about, because I knew we had to record, and I'm in Houston at my parents' house. I was thinking about it this morning. I woke up and I asked my mom, I was like, she was like, "Are you hungry?" And I was like, "Yeah, can you go get me some donuts?" Immediately went out and got, what I'm saying? Like something so minuscule, just immediately went out and got donuts. So I think that for me personally, like my parents would never stop taking care of me. I'm still on the family home plan. I'm not getting off that shit until a man come take me off. I'm not getting. Don't tell my daddy though, because he don't know. But then also like vice versa, like I take care of my parents. Of course, I'm not able to take care of them just yet as I want to, like financially, but I'm able to like provide in other ways. So even though they are my parents, I'm on like this mental health journey. So I'm able to, pour into them when they can't pour into themselves. Because even though they are parents, and we look at our parents as being like, the matriarch and the patriarch of like put on this pedestal that parents are just like,
yeah,
right. Our parents take care of us. But sometimes like I have to have a conversation with my mom, and I have to pour into her mentally, because she's still a person. She's my mom. Yeah. But sometimes she falls short, and I have to be like, hey girl, like, are you okay? Do you need to talk? Like, let me pour. My cup is full enough where I can pour into you. So even though I'm not there yet where I can take care of them financially as I would want to, I still try to provide, and take care of them in other ways.
That's good. I didn't even think about it, but she literally just like give us a whole episode like, okay, we done.
No, I agree with her. She hit every single point. Like she brought up a good point. Black people are always known to like, at 18, you're getting out my house, you're doing this, you're doing that. But if you look at the white families, they don't move out until they're married or until they start their own family, or they're already taken care of with like a trust fund, or, you're going to take over the business. So it's always set up for them to succeed. And for us, we're always taught, no, at 18, you need to get a job, you need your own apartment.
16, they start from 16, you need a job.
Yeah, like you have to always work. You have to always provide. And I feel like as Black people, we should have that luxury of our parents taking care of us until we're in an actual stable state to return the favor. you know. So I just feel like that's just a conversation we always talk about. Like she said, why do we always have to get out the mud? If my life is sustainable where I can sit here and take care of my child, why wouldn't I not? I created you. I brought you into this world. So why should I not take care of you?
That's true. Yeah. But let me play the devil's advocate for a second. At some point in time, don't you like sometimes, we feel like, at the age of 16, 17, like I want to move out because I want some freedom. We also have that mindset as well. Where it's like, I want to be out of my house, be gone. Because I remember back in Ghana, my mama always tells me, I don't mind you going out, but there's a curfew. So it's 12 midnight. If you, whatever time you want to come back, just let me know. I remember one time I told my mom, I'll be back at like 11 o'clock, 11:01. She's out of calling. I said, God damn.
That's how my parents were too. And I feel like once you get older, once you know better, you do better. So that's how I was. Like when I lived with, first of all, if I could move back home and stay with my parents, I would do that now at 28.
And not paying no bills or some stuff like that.
Bills are ghetto. I didn't ask to be here. And I don't like it. I don't like it. I got
not bills are ghetto.
I feel her. I guess I'm lucky because I got that luxury to move back home.
But I chose to like leave home and move to Atlanta. Mm-hmm. So my mom and my dad, they were like, you can stay here as long as you want to. Mm-hmm. We have a house on the other side of town that we rent out. It was like, we can find some renters or if you want to move into that. So it was no rush. It was like me. It wasn't them. Because I was like, I'm born and raised in Houston. I can always come home.
Right. Yeah.
I want like I know I can always come home. So let me go, venture out and things like that. But yeah, so like when I lived at home, I always had when I was younger, I had a curfew. First in high school, my curfew was like 12. Which I was like, what? All my friends get to be out. I want to be 12. Out like everybody's out, right?
Well, you got 12.
You got my mama's house 7 p.m.
In the house at like 10.
And then I got older, and then my curfew was at like 2. So the rule in my parents' house was like, never let the sun beat you home. And if you feel like the sun is gonna beat you home, you just don't need to come home. Like just text us and be like, hey, I'm not coming home. Yeah. So it was like, so anytime I felt like, hey, like I'm having too much fun, I would text my mom and my dad and be like, hey, I'm staying out. I'll see y'all in the morning. Like, don't wait up for me. Like, because they up like that. But now, hell, I'm trying day party me. I'm trying to be in the bed by 9. Like I get so funny. So I went out last night, and my mom was like, hey, because I will say one time I came home and I was like, I'm out. I look at the clock, it's 4:30 in the morning. I'm walking in the house, the dog barking, birds chirping. My daddy like, I know your ass is not. My daddy, I fucked up. I thought I was back in my house in Atlanta. So last night, my mom was like, you're going to be late, like, let us know. So I got home at like 2:30 and I'm like, God damn, I am tired. Like, I can't believe I like wanted to stay out this late at like 18. Like that for me, there's nothing. Just day party me. Let me be home by 10. So I can be because my body different now. I don't have time to have a hangover, be recuperating all day.
You're not doing that.
And it's nothing out there. Like I'm getting older now. I want to go home. I want to be with my man, and I want to go to sleep. I'm not
there's nothing out there.
There's
nothing out there.
This is a strip club. Now we can say, oh, nice, get a little lemon pepper wet at the strip. Fine with that.
It's over to you now. Jazz is like, listen, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do.
The ladies, I mean, they brought up some great points. I feel that there's still some like room where there's still a give and there's still a take when it comes to growing up. Because see, at the end of the day, too, sometimes when you keep your kids for too long or you nurture them for too long, they also don't know how to get their own when it's time to get their own. And because they know that their mother and father, whoever their guardians are, will be there as a safety net, sometimes the kids don't push themselves hard enough because they know, well, if it doesn't work out, I can always go to mom and dad. And so I do believe that there's layers to knowing I'll be there for you and layers where it's like, I'm not helping you. Ooh, I don't care if I have the money, I'm not helping you because I know that this is not going to help you because there's one day when I will leave this earth. And who will you now say will be your safety net? And sometimes it's like, as parents, we love, I'm not a parent, but I'm assuming as parents, you know, they love their child so much, they brought them into this world and they want to make sure that they have the best life they can give. But that's also understanding that you gotta have to learn how to let them go so that they can be able to have the best life for themselves instead of as parents trying to craft everything for them. Because at the end of the day, the child also doesn't even understand what they like if they always have that safety net. They don't know what they don't know how it is to like not have money at the end of the month. And those hard moments is when you learn and you grow and you develop and you realize that you don't need your parents. They're there. It's nice to have them, but they shouldn't be the end all be all. It shouldn't be when times get hard, you know, you go to them. It should be you try to figure it out on yourself. Because depending on how your parents grew up, that's how they did it. And and I think that our generation, I think our generations of parents have been through so much. If that was them being born in Ghana, that was them being born in America, that because they went through so much, they don't want us to go through the same thing, but they can't protect us from that, you know? And so
that builds character.
Exactly. It builds real character.
You have to build real character. Your parents can instill values in you, but they can't teach you how to be yourself. Like you got to discover that on your own. And so I definitely believe that parents should be there at the safety net. But there is a time, and now, you know, now these days it used to be 18. And I feel like that's kind of 18 across the board, regardless of race. Now it depends on how you started, but I still feel like across America, there's this thing where it's like 18 is the time you're supposed to be on your own. Now that was back in the day. Now, now that number has completely changed. Now it's 18, but then you thought it was 21, and then it used to be 21, but now you don't know what number it is anymore because the dynamics have changed since our parents started working. Like
me personally, I feel like 25, 26 is that age where you start to be like, you want more for yourself. Like not in, that's where you, like you said, you party, you done that, you went out, and you just really look at like what your parents went through, and you kind of start to understand like worth ethic, or I want this, I want a house, I want a car. So I feel like at that age is where most of our parents start to let go anyway, because by then you already went through your own trials and tribulations. By then you probably already went through like your own little like, okay, this is what the world is. Like, okay, mommy wasn't lying. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, listen, the struggle is real.
You never tell your mama she was right.
You never
ever. Like, you ain't gonna tell her to her face, but you gonna
never tell you. That's one thing I learned. You ever tell your mama she gonna hold on to that to her deathbed.
Listen.
I warned you.
Her last breath, she gonna be like, remember I told you. You said out, listen.
I'm like, girl, can you just let it go?
What if you have siblings? It's not just one person. You gotta imagine that too. You got like 3 other siblings. Your parents are like, it's time for you to get off. I got other people to take care of.
Oh wow, I don't have siblings like that. I only have one sibling, and we're 15 years apart.
I got 3 more. So my parents are like,
like I was the only child for 15
Gotta go.
I was the only child. I was the only child for 14 years too. And then like touching on the point when you're talking about like helping and then like building character and stuff like that. So for like a year and a half when I lived in Atlanta, I was unemployed. And it was like the hardest time. Like I thought I had went through some shit. Let me tell you. God was like, you thought you had some trials and tribulations. Let me show you some shit. So like I lost my job, and then called my mom and dad like, hey, I lost my job. And the first thing they asked me was like, do you want to come home? I'm like, no, I was like, it's cool, like it's unemployment, like I got my degree, I'm gonna get a job. A month without a job turned into 3 turned into 6. I had to move out of my apartment. I had to get behind on bills. Like my parents paid like my bills for like 2 months, and then they was like, okay, revisiting the conversation, like, what are you gonna do? Like, so they were there, but they wasn't like, okay, we just gonna take care of you. You know what I'm saying? They was like, we'll help you. If you need help, we'll help you. But okay, we can't pay your $1,800 rent And then also like, you know, your sister need braces and we got, you know, stuff like that. So, you know, we'll take care of you. But okay, so we paid your bills for 2 months. So
what's up?
What's up? You know, we're still gonna help. But my parents, so I come from like if you need help, ask for it. Type family. But if you need help, ask for it, but also what type of help do you need? So whereas like those first 2 months, I was like, okay, well, I need help with like rent and like bills and stuff like that. Cool, we got you. We still want to help you, but we can't help you as financially. So, you know, I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna move out of my apartment and my friend is gonna let me like stay in her guest room. Okay, cool. Well, what can we do to help you like with that transition? Like, you know, then I started dealing with like depression and like anxiety and stuff like that. Okay, let's find you a therapist. So it was always like, I'm gonna help you, but you also do need to figure out this shit by yourself. And then also, I wanted to figure it out by myself because I know that like I said, I don't have a want for anything. So I know if I was like, hey, you know, I want to come home, my daddy would have came and packed me up and like I would have
home.
You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to be like, hey, like I can't just always run home when things get hard. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to be able to be like, damn, you know what, Jazz? Like you've been hustling for this past year and a half, shit just not working out. Like you've tried, you've applied here, you've done part-time, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to be on my last whim. And that's how it was for me. Like I remember I had tried everything. Like I had I lost my job. I had to move out of my apartment. I was dealing with a breakup. I moved in with my homegirl. She put me out a week before my birthday. I was staying on my my homegirl's couch, like technically like homeless. So I'm like, and I feel like, nah, like I'm gonna do this shit, right?
Yeah.
So I remember sitting in my car. I was like, no. I was like, I can't do it. I was like, I can go home. Because if I can't, like I said, if I can go home, I'm gonna go. I remember being on the phone with my daddy. I was like, I called my daddy. I said, hey. I was like,
ready? Coming home?
I said, I'm coming home. He was like, cool. He was like, first of all, my daddy, he never wanted me to leave anyway. So I called him. I was like, Daddy, I said, this life shit is beating my ass. I'm losing. Like, I'm ready to come home. He was like, all right, well, you know, sell your furniture. I said, first of all, hold on. When you sell your furniture, I ain't gonna sell my shit. What you got going on? I said, I need you to get the U-Haul. Come get me over it. Like, I was just at my last whim. And that's when I knew that I was like, okay, like I appreciate my family because at that point I was just like defeated. And as soon as I made that call, my dad was like, let me move around my schedule. We're going to bring you back home. But of course, the universe and God works in mysterious ways. Yeah. So I had 2 job interviews the next day and a position by the end of the week. And then I called my dad and I was like, yeah, I'm not coming home. He was like, he was like, you sure? I was like, no, Daddy, I got a job now. Like, I'm good now. I got a job.
Yeah.
I got benefits. He was like, no. He was like, no, I'll come. I'll still come with you. I was like, you just want me to come home. But I appreciated that. Like, I needed that. As hard as that year and a half of being unemployed was for me, I needed that for, like, my own personal development. Like, I needed to be able to, like, I always knew that my family and my parents were like, you know, if you need help, ask for it. We got you. Yeah. But I also appreciated them, like, not like, I want, in a sense of, like, micromanaging. Like, I want, they were like, you know, we'll help you. You good, you got it, but also like, we're gonna figure some shit out by you. So being there, being a call away, but not like, no, we'll keep paying your rent, we'll keep doing this, because then I probably still would have been unemployed. I wouldn't have looked for a job if my parents kept paying my bills. I'm good.
Listen, I had a conversation with my parents like about a year ago. Oh, first of all, you guys are talking about how you have like, you know, this 15-year interval for your siblings and stuff. I got only 4. Okay. I remember when my brother was born, my grandma was like, when I walked to the hospital, I'm like, I look like, what the hell is this? Like, she's in my face. I'm like, oops. But you know, the funny thing is, the one thing, I know, I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, who is this? You know, but the funny thing, the one thing we always fight about is the phone bill, because we don't pay the phone. My dad actually pays it. I know he has a discount. So I'll be on this shit like just, and he like, why can't you? I'm like, nigga, leave me alone. Like he was fine. Like, leave me alone. Let me.
I don't. The least you can do is keep me on the phone playing. I don't ask much. Just keep me on the phone.
Man, that phone bill, like.
He's already kicked me off the benefits because I didn't aged out.
26, yeah.
I didn't aged out.
I'll pay for everything else with that phone.
I wanted to be an adult and get my own apartment and move, and I got to pay my own. The least you can do. Just keep me on the phone. That's what I ask them. All I ask is that my parents keep me on the phone bill and they let me keep clothes at their house when I come into town. I came in this weekend, my daddy told me he didn't put my shit in storage. I said, y'all just different around here. Y'all done changed.
Jasmine, but you know what I love about your story though, and I think this is the beauty of having parents or guardians. And the reason why I keep saying guardians, because I know not everyone has parents.
True.
But the beautiful thing is that they're there for you. And there's a lot of people that don't have that.
Yes.
You know, the difference between knowing you have parents or guardians for you and then not having anyone. And so for me, I thought it was just beautiful that they're there for you and they say you can come home, because some people don't have a home to come to, even if they have parents and guardians.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think that's just even, it's honestly a blessing. And I'm so happy that you were able to get that job, get those 2 interviews. Like, that is just such a testimony to me. And one thing, it's funny because each parent, I have 2 parents, and my mom is like the tough love. Okay.
Yeah.
My mom was the one balancing it out to where, you know, my dad may be more lenient, but mom was like, no. They gotta go. Like, no, they need to leave. And like, even when I came out to LA, I say this story all the time. Like, my mom gave me a loan. She did not give me money. She said, no, I will give you a loan. We signed a paper, and this is how much I'm going to give her. And she says, you will pay my money back.
With interest?
No, that's a beautiful part about my parents. Okay, right. They all gotta pay it to a bank. Right. What she was teaching me though, and this is where the tough love, this is the balance between I'm still here for you, but you gotta learn on your own. Yes. And so that was the tough love where it was like, you still gonna pay my money back because I still need to train you that when you take money from someone, you gotta pay them back. And even if they say, oh, you can keep it, still have that mentality.
You wanna give it back, yes.
Yes. So it's like she's training me that I'm still here for you, but if I'm not here one day, you already got the mechanisms in your mind where you can start running on your own. And so for me, and then like I said, I have 3 sisters. So I don't even know what it feels like to be an only child. I was only a child for 2 years. And even then I can't recollect what that is.
Let me just tell you, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
I was the only child for 14 years. So I grew up in a single parent household. It was just me and my mom. My dad was like in and out. So when I speak about my daddy now, I talk about my stepdad. So my mom and my stepdad, they've been married for 16 years. So that's my daddy.
Congrats.
So I grew up in a single parent household. It was just me and my mom. And so we talk about like tough love. So me and my mom's relationship has kind of like progressed. So my mom was always there. She was like never missed a ballet recital, never missed when I wanted to do karate for like 2 days. She signed me up, like, you know what I'm saying?
2 days,
things like that, right? Just, you know, niggas just be trying shit. I just thought, you know, so. But what I learned like with my mom is, and like looking at, because you know, the way that our personalities and the way that our family dynamics are shaped are always like, there's always a foundation from like a previous generation.
Yeah.
So like my mom is the way that she is because of how my grandparents raised her, right? And it's not anything bad, you know. They raised me. My grandparents are amazing. They're together. When they got divorced, they got remarried. That's how it is. But then also like your culture is shaped by, you know, previous generations, and then also shaped by like what you went through. So my mom was like a single mother at 20. So essentially we grew up together. So, you know, she's raising somebody by herself. You know, you have the child, she still went to college, finished college, got her master's degree, and you're doing this all by yourself essentially because, you know, your baby daddy left. So it kind of gave her like a hard, you know, exterior.
She didn't want you to go through what she went through.
Right. So as we got older, and I'm like, you know, I talk a lot of shit, but I'm sensitive. So we had to,
yes, we know.
Right. So as I've gotten older, we've had to have these conversations, and then especially now within like the past 2 years, I've been like consistently doing therapy, and I'm on like my mental health journey. That our relationship has really like grown, and I have to like I'm open enough to be like, you're my parent, but I'm also a person. Mm-hmm. So in that, we're individually continuously evolving, mm-hmm. but then also like our parentship or our like relationship, even with my mom and my dad. So my mom was like this, she's still a hard ass sometimes, but she kind of soft too, so I'll be, but like, but also, and I had to realize with my stepdad, like, so when my stepdad came into my life, I had to realize, like, I had never had a daddy. He had never had a daughter. So he had never been a parent. I didn't know nothing about having a daddy. He didn't know nothing about having a daughter. So we, like, bumped heads. Like, it's going back. But what I always, like, appreciated by him, what made our relationship stronger, is that whenever we was out, he was like, this is my daughter. This is my daughter. Like, this is Jazz. You know, whatever you need, like, you ready to come home? Come on, we're going to come get you. All that stuff. So, whereas I have, like, my mom, who is just, like, a hard ass, because that's just who I've known all of my life. And then you have my dad comes in, and he balances out. And I remember a couple of weeks ago, I had to get new tires. You know, ladies, you know when you say your dad, you got to get something conversation.
Listen, I call AAA. I ain't doing that. I'm sorry.
Listen, so of course I got yelled at because I had a flat tire and I was like riding on bad tires, whatever. So I was just like, so after he yelled at me, so my dad's type person where I'm just like, I was like, I got to get tires. So he yelled at me and then I'm like, okay, well, are you going to give me the money back for the tires? Or how much do you need? How much do you need? This is what I'm talking about. Like, so my dad's like, he gonna yell at me and be like, you know you're supposed to get the order, you know what you're supposed to do. And I'm like, all right, so now that we got that out the way.
What's next?
You want to do cash tab, you want to do Zelle, you want to do a money order, how you want to make this work. So, but yes, I'm like you, I definitely have that balance of like having a tough, like, mom, because my mom be like, well, I just don't know what you're going to do. I'm like, girl, you know you're going to give me the money too. Let's go ahead and
just drop the money. Let's go. Wow.
That balance.
No, but that's
my
family good to have that balance.
Yeah, my family dynamics is it's the opposite. The tough one is my dad. Like, he's straight. Nope. You want me to fix it? Okay, I'm fixing it, but I'm charging you this, and you're paying for the part, and you're gonna come out here and you're gonna help me. And my mom's all like, she's like not like gonna give it to me. It's more on we're gonna plan it. She's more of a plan person. Okay, what do you want to do? Write it down. Now, how are you going to achieve that goal? Did you follow up on that goal? All right, you told me you wanted to do this, but you're not putting in any work. So how are you going to achieve that if you're not putting in any work? All right, I'm not doing it. You're going to sit down.
You're killing my mojo. Like, I'm trying to get this done.
Yeah, so it's just like, because, you know, as me, especially me, I've been the only child for 15 years and it's the same household. Like my parent, and then they decided to have another kid. I don't know why, but
that's how my parents, I said, yeah, well, you know, my dad didn't, my stepdad, he didn't have any kids. And I'm like, you started all the way over, girl. I'm out the house. I am 14 years old.
Like,
I'm
I ain't gonna
lie.
When she was pregnant with my brother, I kept telling her, I was like, you're just gaining weight. It's okay. Because I didn't want to, like, you've been the only child for 15 years. You don't want to think. And then her stomach all moving. So I was like, oh, so y'all like really got pregnant. I thought you said it didn't work. Like, so the way they raised my brother is more like he's more free range, more he gets to develop more.
That's the shit I be talking about.
Don't get me started on that.
I have my mama on the plan.
Girl, I'd be like, y'all different. If that was me,
yeah, bro, what? Like, Sean don't be cleaning up, don't do nothing, and then he's all like, well,
use the dishwasher. I never got to use the dishwasher. My little sister's like, I'm just gonna put him in. I said,
I am the dishwasher. What?
The guy, I said, when I came out here, she putting dishes. I said, what you doing?
Yeah, he was like, I'm washing the dishes. No, you're not. You're supposed to like make dishwater and
wash it. You clean with a napkin to make sure it's like we do all this.
Like, you put no bleach in the water.
Where's the pan that's soaking? You got to let the pan soak overnight.
And then you're supposed to wash
the pan that's soaking
and dry them and put them up before you go to bed. Or you get up and you're doing it.
Get tired. They get tired because I even spoke to my mom about this, and I was just like, literally, the way y'all treat my baby sister is absolutely wild. I think we're 7, 8 years apart, and you know they just want to. Yeah, they're tired. Like it gets to the point where they've been through the road before.
Keep that same energy.
Like, keep it up, okay? We gonna keep it up.
They say wait until
that same energy.
They say wait until you get there. Mm-hmm. We'll see if we're gonna keep that same energy.
Listen, I'm not about these kids back to back. I'm not. We ain't no fourth. I'm not trying to be tired. We back to back. Give me 2 under 2. Let's wrap this
but
up.
the joy is the older siblings come in and ruin their parade. Like,
oh yeah, I come in and cause chaos every time. Anytime I'm like,
when are you leaving? Nah.
Yeah. That's how my little sister. I be like, ooh, her room is. I be snitching. Her room dirty. She ain't doing her assignments. I'm telling you, gonna get a whooping.
Bruh, what? Back in my day, you used to take my phone. You ain't gonna take his phone?
Back in the day, we didn't have a phone. We were still on the house phone.
On the page, or you have like a little pager somewhere.
When you finally did get a phone, I swear it was just so they could hold it over your head.
Right. They used to take my phone, and when we first got, I had the sidekick,
I had the flip phone.
Girl, I remember I did something at school, they took my phone, and my daddy just had it sitting on the nightstand, just looking at me.
Oh, your dad did that too? Oh my God. I thought I was the only one. He would fully charge my phone. Put it on loud so you can hear all the messages. Then be like, I dare you to touch it.
Petty boots.
You know what's funny?
My little sister got computers, she got iPads,
and
everything. Girl, I'm jealous.
But you know what's funny though? Because my mom's like the tough one anyway, because she don't play. Okay, she be ready to like. What you say? Like she's that type of person. My daddy don't really talk, but he gives like that eye, and you're like, oh snap, there's trouble. Because I remember like recently I was talking to my mom on the phone, and she said she wanted like a Fitbit, right? I'm like, what you gonna do? Like,
right.
Where you going? She was like, I need it so I can go on my walk. I'm like, well, guess what? Call this number. That's your husband. She was like, oh, really? But I'm your mom. I'm like, okay, calm down. I'm just playing. Like, calm down.
Okay.
I gave birth to you.
Mother's Day, I got my mom a Brandon Blackwood wallet, the little black owned luxury thing. But of course, I had to order it, so I was telling her, I was like, "Hey, I called on Mother's Day. We're talking." I said, "Well, your gift should be in the mail. It's gonna be coming." And so when I landed in town, she was like, "So where's my gift?" I said, "Girl, I tracked it. It's gonna be there on Monday." She's like, "You're not gonna be here." I said, "But you still gonna get it." And I had to tell her, I no longer ask her what she wants for gifts, because one year I asked her, I said, what do you want? I don't ask my parents anything that they want, and let me tell you why. Because my daddy never want nothing. So I just get him shoes. I'm like, Daddy, what you want for your birthday? Nothing. Cool, whatever. I just get him whatever I want to get him. But my mom, I'd be like, what do you want for Mother's Day? What do you want for your birthday? Oh, I think I need a new dining room table.
Girl, hold on.
I think I need a new front door. I said, where's your man? Not you want some new hardwood floors. You about to get some Adidas, and they're gonna be white. Don't wear them outside. Don't get them dirty. That's what you about to get. The crazy lady asked me for a dining room. I said, a dining.
You know what I love, Jasmine? You know what I love, Jasmine? Because you said it before. You was like, right now, I'm not in the position to be able to give them everything that they want.
Financially.
I can't wait until I can take care of them to the point where they can just easily retire. I can just send them checks. My mom, she loves to travel. I'm like, Mom, I just got this ticket for you. It's an open ticket. You and Dad can go whenever you want to. No rush. I feel like right now in our generation, it's just like, as long as we're economically stable, I don't think there's a year to where like an age to where we're like, okay, this is the time we can take care of our parents. Then like specifically in Ghana, like it's almost mandatory. Like, what do you think? You about to put me in a nursing home? No,
you're not.
When you had these kids, I was in here, and your aunties and everybody was in here because it was our responsibility to do that.
Yeah.
And so don't think that now when it's my time, your responsibility is to put me in a nursing home. Exactly.
Oh my God. I always say that when I get mad. I said, keep playing. You gonna be right here, and your husband gonna be across the hall.
That's what I told my I told my mama that this morning. She came in the guest room playing a loud song. I said, "You ain't coming here with no music and no breakfast. I need you to get it together. What you doing?" But I think one thing like I realized is that especially dealing with like parents and like siblings and things like that, sometimes we have to treat those relationships like we treat our romantic relationships. True. So you have to cater to like the love languages, cater to like the apology languages, like that. So whereas I spoke about like I can't give like my mom like hardwood floors, or I can't give her like a door, but I know like things like a card or like a phone call, you know what I'm saying? That I can cater to her that way.
Taking her out to eat, stuff like that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So even though like I can't take care of her in the way that I want to necessarily take care of her financially, that goes back to me saying like, you know, hey, I'll send her a text message, be like, hey, you know, how's your cup today? Do you need me to pour into you? Like, how are you mentally? Like, what can I do to like take care of you? Same thing with my daddy. Like my daddy feel like he does, nobody tells him anything, right? So I'll tell him.
Don't at all.
Listen, he'll be like, yeah, I don't know nothing. Y'all don't tell me nothing. So I make sure that the way I cater to like his love language is that I'll tell him some stuff and then I just won't tell my mama. And that's just like because I know like it's small things like that where he just be like, y'all just keep me out of the loop. Y'all don't. So I'll just be like, hey, daddy, like, let me tell you what happened today. And he's like, oh, you told your mom? I'm like, no, I just wanted to tell you first. And I know those are things that like, makes him happy and cater to his love language stuff. So like I said, I'm able to take care of him in that way, take care of my mom in that way, even though I can't buy them like, a whole bunch of cars. But I can buy my daddy some Argyle socks, get him a couple of pairs of socks. He ain't gonna wear them. I bought my daddy his birthday like 5 years ago. And I'm like, Daddy, he was like, why you don't buy me nothing else? I'm like, because I bought you tennis shoes 5 years ago and you don't wear them. This man was like, oh, I need the right fit. I got to have the right outfit. It's been 6 years.
You know what's funny?
I've been in 2 relationships since them shoes. I need you.
The funny thing is, I also don't ask my parents what they want anymore, okay? Because I remember like 6 or 7 years ago, I actually bought it was a Kenneth Cole watch and a pair of shoes. I went to Macy's. I'm like, I'm balling. He didn't want all that stuff. It's literally right there. My mom.
I would open the box. Those shoes are ice. They probably don't even fit no more. They probably just shrunk down. And I was like, Dad. And then I don't know how he needs the right outfit. He don't go nowhere. So you ain't gonna never get the right outfit. So I need the right fit for these.
Well, you gonna be fit in the box like the shoes.
So now we just buy him electronics, iPads and all that stuff. Because I'm like, I know he'll use that because he do like media and stuff like that. But I said, I'm not. So I don't ask them what they want. You just gonna get what you get.
Listen, it's the same. Recently, my mom's birthday, right? I'm like, I mean, because she's still in Ghana, I actually had a friend of mine to order like a cake. It was like red velvet. She had no idea. And my friend, they actually delivered, right? I was talking to her. I mean, it took her 2 weeks to finish the cake with my aunts and my cousins. And she's going to tell me, the cake is so good, but next time, just send me the money. I said, girl, no.
Listen, I got my mama on Cash App. It's a struggle. First of all, it was very ghetto. Because she's like, well, how I get the money? So now I got to talk. I tried to get her to set up Apple Pay, but that's a whole different story. So now I got on Cash App. So now she's a Cash App connoisseur. So remember I told you, Dave, I'm still on the phone plan. So I tried to pay my portion of the phone bill and it didn't work. I said, girl, go ahead and take care of it for me. You go ahead and pay it. She's like, you can Cash App me. I
said, I don't know what's up with parents liking Cash App.
My dad is a Zelle person. My dad is actually Zelle. I told him how to use Zelle a year ago, and
it's been. That's how my mom has Zelle, but she was like, we had to set up a Cash App because we was like doing something for my little sister for like raffle tickets and stuff, and I was like, well, just use Cash App so people. So now she's like, oh, you can just Cash App.
The parents love that Cash App.
Right. I said,
the whole thing that kills me about the cake I actually ordered for my mom, right? She said my aunts and her were like, oh, well, it was good, but it looked like blood. I'm like, girl, it is red velvet. Get it together.
Red velvet is nothing but fake chocolate anyway, so. I'm not gonna get on my soapbox about red velvet. That's fake chocolate. That ain't nothing. That's red velvet is chocolate cake with a beret on. Like that.
Wow, you don't like red velvet?
I don't like. I'm not a sweet person. Like I'm a savory type person.
When I do eat it, I like red velvet. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know why.
With some ice cream,
I will bust down a cheesecake though. If you put a cheesecake, I bust that thing down.
Cheesecake.
What?
No, I don't like it.
Say that one more time.
I don't like cheesecake.
What?
My question
is, we're having a great time.
My question to you ladies is like, if you had the money in the world to be able to take care of your parents, what would you do? What would that even look like for you?
I'll automatically know off rip, I'm going to take my mom and buy her a house in the Bahamas, because that's all she ever talks about is moving away to the Bahamas.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, because she always, she's like, I don't want to work anymore. America's just doing too much. I just want to go to the Bahamas and be on the beach.
Right.
America,
girl, it's ghetto in the
ghetto.
UK. I get very ghetto.
It's so it's beyond ghetto.
I'm packed. Let's wrap this up. I'm packed up. I'm ready to go. Yeah, I think what I would do. I always think about this, like, because sometimes when the lotto get real big, I go.
Ooh.
You never know, you might hit. So, but I said if I ever do me and my mom talked about this before, I would just send them a lump sum, right? Probably buy them a house. I know they want a bigger house. So I would give them a bigger house. And then I know my mom wants her luxury car, get her a luxury car. I'll probably get my dad his he's in the process of building his own desktop. So I would help fund that, make the biggest desktop he wants so we can get this business off the ground that he's trying to do and all that stuff. But it sounds like, in the grand scheme of things, when you speak it out, it sounds like it's attainable. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And I think, and I feel like that's, when you have good relationships with your parents and your guardians, things like that, it's attainable. I want to be able to do. I'm going to be
to do. Yeah.
Oh, I already told her I'm an investment. You'll get your money back soon.
Yeah, yeah, and that's true.
At least you told your parents. I just tell my parents I'm just happy to be here.
Because she always be like, I bought you this. And I was like, but you invested in me. You knew that over time it'll come back. I said, I got you though. You're going to have your own little house. Listen, I'm going to take care of you.
I don't know when it's going to come back.
But it's going to come, But the thing, so before we wrap it up, it's funny because growing up, I'm like, I want to give my parents something they can actually always enjoy. Maybe build them a business or whatever, right? But at this point, my mama is way business savvy. Okay, so it's she's just give me the money. I'm like, so I'm like,
the only thing I'm gonna be able to give my parents right now is a grandchild. That's all I got.
They ain't getting that. I refuse. They're not getting that. They have a grand dog, a grand pup.
They want to be grandparents.
Your dog can call you.
We're gonna call it even. We even now. I got y'all a grandchild.
Nope.
Okay. No, it's not. Okay.
Yeah, you on your own with that one.
I thought we was gang. I thought we was cohesive. I thought we was a unit.
Nah. I gave him a dog.
No, my parents are when the grandkids come, and that's a whole nother conversation.
Trust me.
Do y'all have grandkids money? Do y'all have grandkids money?
But you know what's funny?
You gotta find a partner to get the grandkids.
When it comes the grandkids money,
let me get a man.
They have money for the grandkids, but not for you. Trust me on that.
They do have money for the grandkids,
but not for you.
I'm like, do you have grandkids money? And they be like, yes. And I'm like, ooh, I know that's right. Let me ask you some cash at me.
Well, ladies, this was so good. This was so fun. And the funny thing is, one time I was talking to my parents. I'm like, you know what? Why I got all this money? I'm so struggling. I'm trying. Can I just stop working? I can take over. They're like, no, that's the money in our name. Find your money. I said, well, damn. I didn't ask to be here though. Y'all didn't send me no notice.
I think
when they say stuff like that, that's when the retirement home comes into question.
Right. Well, when I think about it, I get self-satisfaction. When I ask my parents, they usually don't tell me no, but I think about when my parents don't want to give me any money. I think about the student loan that my mom has in her name for me, and I'm okay. I'm okay.
Yeah, that's
you got a student loan. You got a student loan in your name for me, and I'm not paying on it. So thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Question though, but why is that these little hackers hack into every kind of system in this country? But not into student loan. I have a problem.
I need to add to the credit score. Just give me. First of all, Jesus paid it all when he died on the cross for me. That included my.
Amen.
Okay.
Amen and amen.
Jesus paid it all. So I'm not. Sally Mae gonna have to come knock on my door and get it in blood. So student loans. That's in the back of my mind. It's above me now. But what they could hack into is these credit. You can hack into these credit scores. Just give me an 800. I'll figure out everything. You can hack into my bank account. You can put me a couple of commas in there.
Commas in there.
Change. You can hack into my Cash App, put me some Bitcoin.
You can hack into this bill. Say my bill is $0.
You can hack into if you want to hack into something, hack into my active portal that I pay my rent on. Hack into that.
And just tell her it's been paid for 12 months.
Yeah, just pay.
I won't complain at all.
Pay for the 15 months. I'm on a 15-month lease. Pay it up. Pay it up.
Yes.
I don't ask for much. So yeah, y'all want to hack into things that so like my thing is what I appreciate about the hackers is they hack into things that are what we think is like it's irrelevant, but it makes such a big like chaos. Like they hack into the pipeline. I had to drive around in Atlanta for like 30 minutes to find some gas, and then when I did find gas, they was like, "We only letting y'all put $30 in y'all tank."
That's ghetto.
Because we have to ration out gas. There was no gas, and it's like. They're doing things small enough, but they make such a big impact. I love that. I thrive off negativity.
It's toxic for me. You know, the funny someone was like, "Well, gas it's like $3 for." I'm like, first of all, we live in LA. We pay $4 to $5, so we're like,
hello.
Ain't y'all gas like $5 over there?
Yeah,
right. I don't care how much gas is. The same 20 is going in. So gas can be
it's like
the same 20. The same 20 is going in.
$5.
Yeah. So whatever that $20 get me, that's how much gas is going in. The same 20.
Me, you are like $20 on pump whatever.
Yeah. The white car over there. Yeah, no, I can't see the number. Get $20.
Yes.
You know what, ladies?
That's it. Whatever it gets me is what it gets me.
I might end up doing like a Medea one time. I probably just end up like Medea. Just grab it from somebody else, put it in my car, pump it up, and drive off. Okay.
That was a funny scene.
Right.
Well, but before we sign off, what of advice do you have for like, let's say like parents/kids, about taking care of like each other? Actually, at this point, because we have to take care of like each other. So, Jazz, I'm gonna start with you.
I think the word of advice that I would have for like parents and like kids is that I think one thing I said it before. One thing that we have to realize is that like. You have your parent and you're also a child, but you have that relationship, but you have to understand that like they are people. And I think sometimes we get outside of like, this is my parent. I have to like respect my parent in like a certain instance, or this is my child. I have to treat my child in a certain instance. But at the end of the day, like we're all people. So you should want to like treat your parent and treat your child as if they was a person. If you have like a certain respect for a janitor, at your job or things like that, you should give that and just allow yourself, the parent and the child, a certain level of grace. Nobody is perfect. People mess up. Things happen. Stuff goes to hell sometimes. But just allow that, have that level of grace. If it's fixable, don't be stressed. This is the word I live by. If you can fix it, there's no reason to be stressed about it. And if you can't fix it, there's also no reason to be stressed about it because hell, you can't fix it. So if we can fix it, then let's go ahead and fix it. And if we can't fix it, then push it to the back of your mind.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
Shauntrice, how about you?
To me, basically what Jasmine is speaking on, I've learned from my personal experience, like my parents are human, everybody's human, you're human, and over time, you don't really realize the sacrifice they've done for you or they've done for themselves. So you could just like, when you get older, just appreciate what your parents have done for you, but at the same time, don't always be in the concept of doing what they want you to do. Do what's best for you along the way. And I feel like over time, you can, what's the word for it? You're going to come together. You're going to realize the relationship and the growth and just appreciate everything your parent has done, because unfortunately, it's going to come a day that they're no longer with you. Ooh. And all you have is memories. So appreciate all the lessons, the heartaches, the cries, the laughers, everything. It's all just molding you into the person that you're going to be. And I swear, you're going to hear in the back of your head someday, like, oh shit, that's what she's talking about. Or, oh, that's what my daddy was talking about.
Yeah. And I appreciate those ass whoopings.
I really do.
I'm gonna put my parents on a t-shirt with some clouds on the back when they pass away. I'm gonna make it real ghetto. I'm gonna put
my mama said we gotta wear her in jury, so she always gonna be with us.
You gonna put the wings on? I'm gonna put the wings in the back too, the angel wings, and put them on some clouds. I'm gonna make it real good. I'm gonna put them on a big t-shirt.
I can't see.
I would say just communicate with one another. I think that's always like the biggest thing with any relationship is like we just need to be more open with one another. And I'm realizing that as I get older, the more I'm starting to do more self-discovery in myself, the more I'm communicating that with my parents. And like Jasmine was saying, like, also remember they're human. Most times that was their first time ever raising you or a child or anything.
Facts.
And so sometimes it's just, I think it's also important to let go of grudges. Whatever you may have with your parents or whatever your parents may have with you, life is too short. You know, you keep looking up, the older you get, the more you realize people are just dying. And I think it's a reminder that I'm like, you have these grudges that you even forgot why you had the grudge, but you have the emotion attached to it. And you can't even remember why you were mad. And so I would say, like, in this instance, right now in our ages, let them go or work on letting them go, because you'll be so much more free, especially with the knowledge that you have now, to know the type of life you want to live, and you know the way that you want to help your parents now. So I feel like those grudges and these things from the past are really holding us from being really close with one another. So that's my
take.
I love that.
Wow, yeah, I just preached the whole
like self-healing. Yeah, just touching that self-healing real quick. Like ever since I started therapy, like I have like my healing that I've done within myself, but then also like I'm able to realize like I don't want to call them like childhood traumas, but things that happened in my childhood that I can like take back to my mom and be like, girl, I did not realize that I had abandonment issues because of this. And then we're able to like work through it. And then my mom is like, oh, hell, dang, I didn't know, we're able to like talk through it and stuff like that. So I think everybody needs therapy. It doesn't always have to be like something wrong with you, but you have like a professional advice person and things like, because you never know, like, I didn't realize like, you know what I'm saying, like, things happen and like I reacted off of this, like I said, that's one like your personality and your foundation and things like that. And I'm like, dang, so I'm a crazy because of this. Okay, it makes sense. The math is mathing. So everybody, I feel like everybody needs therapy. Do that self-healing. You just never know what you're going to find out, and then you also learn like better coping skills.
That is true. So mine would be it's all about the love and communication. Honestly, those two things, that's all you need. Because if you're able to like open and communicate with somebody, that is all you need. Like I am a huge person when it comes to communication. Like, if you can get it right, deuces. Like,
because you don't care.
I don't. I tried to, but I just don't.
But if you can't communicate with somebody, then you're not listening. So you're not willing to grow. You're not willing to understand.
That's factual. Yes. So I told him, I'm like, you know what? I'm a Taurus and I'm a Gemini. So altogether, it's a disaster. Okay. So,
oh Lord,
listen,
all over the place.
Someone's like, my attitude and my mouth is a double homicide, and it's true, and it is true.
Damn, double homicide.
It is. Ladies, thank y'all so much, listeners and viewers at home. Thank you so much for joining us on today's topic, and don't forget to join the conversation on Twitter, @Kabutey, on Instagram. I always forget that part. Saturday Shade, and don't forget to hashtag Saturday Shade. So. Viewers and listeners, enjoy your weekend, and always remember, Saturday Shade, it is always a positive life.